Good morning and welcome to Valley Focus. I'm your host, Deborah LeRae. Joining me this morning for this segment, I have a couple of special people in the studio with me, especially Dawn Callahan. Good to see you again, Dawn.
Nice to see you again.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has
been a while. And John Flanders is here, too, from Academy of Scuba. Good to have you, John.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you.
And first and foremost, Dawn, you, in addition to being a flight attendant, you also do a lot of charity work, and one is with SUDS. Want to tell us what SUDS is?
So, SUDS stands for Soldiers Undertaking Disabled Scuba, and it's a program out of the Bethesda Hospital at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. And what our program does is we teach disabled soldiers that are coming in from Iraq and Afghanistan with amputations how to scuba dive as part of their rehabilitation process.
Now, how long has SUDS been in existence?
About 4 years now.
Now, I had you, I believe, in the studio about a year ago.
Yes.
It always seems like right around the holidays I drag you in here, even though it gets you off your busy schedule. Sometimes your flight schedule allows you to come in. Other times we have to kind of work around it. And this was one of those instances where I wanted to get you in before the holidays and didn't have a chance to do it because earlier in the football season,
yes,
Toyota had this halftime challenge going on. I believe it was called the Toyota Halftime Challenge, and they were taking a bunch of different nonprofit organizations throughout the country, putting the spotlight on them at the moment, and you guys were competing for, I believe, prizes in $10,000 increments.
Right.
And I remember you sending me this frantic email one day and this frantic Facebook posting, Deb, SUDS is up for the $10,000. We got to win this thing. We can so use this. And so I was on a mission to make sure that, or do my part to make sure that SUDS was going to win the $10,000. And lo and behold, after that Sunday's challenge, I get another email from Dawn. Guess what? We won the $10,000, which was just too cool. Oh. And then I guess this past Sunday, leading into one of the Sunday games, they did a recap of all the different nonprofits that won in any given week. And SUDS, they did a little clip on SUDS, and it was just really cool.
Right, and I can't thank you enough for your support.
Oh, it was all me, girl. It was all me.
Well, you and all the listeners that voted on Facebook, I can't tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you for your support, because if it wasn't for people like you and the people that have helped us, that we wouldn't have won that. And it was really exciting for me, especially since I'm the social media person that for the SUDS program, and Facebook is one of my babies. So it was really special to do that.
You should definitely go to Facebook, and Dawn will tell you what page to like so that you can stay abreast and stay up to date of what's going on with SUDS, because it's such a worthwhile program. And in this day and age, when there's so many nonprofits all vying for those same nonprofit dollars, this is so important to help our injured veterans when they do come home, because it's tragic enough that they were injured, but a lot of times these injuries are just so, I don't even have the words, debilitating maybe, or I mean, I can't even come up with the words to try to describe how injured these kids are.
It changes their life, both physically and emotionally. And that's something that we strive for, is, not only getting them into a place where they can deal physically with these disabilities and help them work with their bodies because they've changed, but it gives them a positive environment to do that in.
Now, how long have you been with the program? Since its inception?
3 years. So
pretty much almost since the beginning.
Yes.
Who founded the program?
His name is John Thompson, and he was working at the old Walter Reed Hospital, volunteering with the Red Cross and helping the soldiers in their swimming program. And he just approached one of the officers there and says, "I've got an idea," and this is the fruition of his efforts.
Any idea how many soldiers have gone through the program so far?
About 300 plus. We had a lull time while Walter Reed had closed down, and then the new Walter Reed was opening. So we just actually took a group to one of the new groups that was coming out of the new facility to Turks and Caicos, and I was blessed to be able to go on a trip finally. My work schedule
finally allowed you to go.
It, yes.
And what an awesome place to go to, Turks and Caicos.
And I had never been there as a diver, and to go there, it was just, I mean, it was probably, there's a few times in your life that just really stand out in your memory, and this is certainly going to be one of them, because I had the most extraordinary experience of my life there.
Tell us about it.
Well, when I got down there, there were 6 divers. 2 of them were alumni divers, so they were already advanced certified. And then there was 4 other soldiers that they were down there to get their advanced certification. So I was just along as pretty much a bystander or a, helping, with the guys diving. I wasn't actually doing any instruction. I was just there for support. And the first time that we went down, there's a lot of sharks in the water around there, and for me, sharks have never really been a problem, but I normally let the sharks surround me and respect them. When I got down in the water and the sharks started coming around, these guys had no fear. They were actually going to the sharks.
Were they really?
Yeah, it was interesting to me because I'd never seen that before, where the divers were actually going and almost trying to get them in a circle. And I had this epiphany that were these men that had gone through, day to day, that they were experiencing fear, environments that would just terrify the norm, but that was what they lived. They lived in these, horrific, explosions, and their fear every day level had to have been really heightened. Yeah. And then here they're with these sharks, and there was no fear. It was so much courage that I was watching, and I'll be quite honest, it was a little contagious, because the next thing I know, I was...
You were doing it?
I don't know, it was that I felt very protected, or, that they were around, or I just felt that, but it was really an extraordinary experience. It really changed me, and it gave me a firsthand view of what I was doing, and it made me even that much more committed to the program.
See, once you see what the program does, how it affects these injured soldiers, and how you see how they react in different situations when you're down in the water, right. And me, I probably would have swam for the hills, if I'd have seen those sharks coming at me. But they say don't move, right? Just stand there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No. So here you are swimming with the sharks. It gives a whole new meaning. You've heard of swimming with the dolphins and stuff. Yeah. I guess it's swimming with the sharks is what you did. So how many days were you on the diving trip?
I was down there 6 days. We dove 4 days of diving, and there was eight dives total, and every day we were diving with sharks. It was great. I don't know if the sharks were drawn to them, but I've never seen so many sharks before. It was something else. And then in the evenings, we'd have different things planned for them as well. Ironically, the first night after our diving, we went to a bar called the Shark Bite.
And then the next day, you're jumping back in the water again.
With the sharks.
So basically, you were with 6 of them in the program.
Right.
And 2 of them were already advanced.
Right.
So the other ones were going for their advanced certification. When they first get accepted into the program, into SUDS, do they have to have any diving experience at all?
No. One particular alumni diver, he had already been a diver before he went into the military. He was actually a major, and he just retired in September, but he was the only person that had prior diving experience.
So basically, it's therapy for the body and the mind.
Yes. It's,
I guess if you're missing any limbs, when you're in the water, it's makes it much more easy for you to move. You're more buoyant. we've talked about that off the air, because I remember when I was younger, living in Florida, friends wanted to take me scuba diving, and I'm very buoyant. And I could just stand in the middle of a pool with my arms down by my sides without even treading water, and I'm just bobbing along like a bobber in the water. And they tried putting all kinds of weight on me, and nothing would pull me down. And then we looked at one of the guys here at the radio station who's a 300-pounder, and you're like, oh, we can take you down. No problem. How much weight would you have to put on somebody? Is it all dependent upon an individual?
You know what? It is body mass, that sort of thing, and the type of water that you're diving in, whether it be fresh water or salt water. So, yes, it varies, but we can get you down.
Really?
And we will.
Determined, huh?
It's coming.
So where does the funding come from for SUDS? I know that you were so thrilled to get that $10,000 from the Toyota Halftime Challenge. Where does the money normally come from?
The money, first of all, I want to say that there's no government support of the program. They do allow us at the hospital.
Even the Veterans Administration, VA, nothing?
No, because they're really focused right now on at reacclimating the people into their civilian life and housing and those sorts of things. So we don't get any funding from them. But what we do get funding is from people who volunteer their time. They do fundraisers. They, send money. It costs about between $1,500 and $1,800 to get a diver certified. By the time we take them on the trip, the airfare, everything adds up, but it costs about that much money. So we do have a program online on the website where you can sponsor a soldier and pay the money to, get one soldier certified. Different organizations, grants that we apply for. So it comes from all different areas.
So you have a variety of sources, but at any given moment, those sources could dry up because, like I said before at the beginning of our conversation, you have so many nonprofits all vying for those same dollars, those same charitable dollars.
We're really fortunate that in the dive community, there's a lot of support that different shops around the country realize that this is something that they can do, and it personally affects them.
Now, you said you can go to the website and you can sponsor a soldier.
Right.
What's the website?
www.sudsdiving.org.
Okay. And it would take, let's say, just for easy math, about $2,000 per soldier to get them certified.
Right.
Well, that's why we have John here today. John Flanders is from Academy of Scuba. Hi, John.
Hi, how you doing?
You've been sitting there so patiently waiting for your turn.
Listening with interest. It's great to hear Dawn's stories.
Yes, she's got fabulous stories, absolutely fabulous stories, and you have a story to tell as well.
That's right. This month at the Academy of Scuba, we're actually doing a number of events to help sponsor divers through the SUDS program, and see them reap the valuable reward of actually going back into the mainstream world and doing some exciting things and reintegrating back into society after their tragic events that have left them in some cases in very difficult positions. So we're here to help support that. As Dawn said, the diving community has certainly reacted and wants to give back, and that's the whole purpose behind academyofscuba.org is divers, the dive community itself, the vendors as well, giving back. And this month we have a number of events that'll help divers and non-divers alike help sponsor, hopefully, lots and lots of disabled veterans.
This is awesome. Now, you've founded this philanthropic arm of Academy of Scuba. You have academyofscuba.com, which is your commercial site, and you have academyofscuba.org, which is your charitable arm.
Right. Academy of Scuba is a dive center in Central Phoenix, right off of Bell Road and the I-51, and we certify divers all year long. Academyofscuba.org is actually a different website, and it focuses on the dive community, raising money and raising awareness for great folks like the people at SUDS. So we're trying to give back, have the dive community give back, organize the dive community to give back, and that's what academyofscuba.org is all about. I'm glad
you stepped up, because the first time that I met Dawn, we put the word out to the community, to the scuba community, to say, hey, if you have any old equipment, if you own a dive shop, if you want to sponsor a soldier, soldier, please get involved. And anytime I'm driving around, if I do see, unfortunately, I'm not in your area very often, but in the Chandler area, I've stopped at a couple of places going, hey, have you heard of SUDS? You might want to get involved. You might want to donate some old equipment, that kind of thing, because it's such an awesome, incredible project that they're doing here with our injured soldiers. Please, come on, get involved. So I'm glad finally to hear that somebody in the Valley stepped up.
Well, here's the good news, and I think everything that SUDS and people like Dawn have been working for is really starting to take fire. And if anyone wants to donate to SUDS in some way, shape, or form, equipment or something like that, they can certainly bring it by the Academy of Scuba, and we'll get it over to Dawn, and she can make sure it gets in the right hands. But there are other shops as well in Arizona that are participating, such as our sister shop up in up by Lake Mojave in Bullhead City. They'll actually be working to raise awareness and raise funds through the month of January as well. That's Lake Mojave Scuba. And then we have another affiliate down in Tucson who's working hard too to promote the same awareness, called Planet Scuba. So again, this is a community-wide thing. There is no competition here. We're all working together for a great cause. And I know there are some other dive shops here in Phoenix and that are rallying to different causes, including SUDS as well, and helping disabled vets learn how to scuba dive. So it really is a community thing. It's nice to be one of the many lights that are out there, but it's a lot of fun, and we have a great time, and we're meeting some incredible people.
Well, I know that you're here today to announce some of the things that are going on in this month, all to benefit SUDS. So let's hear about some of the events that you have planned for the month of January.
Sure. Well, we have a full calendar on academyofscuba.org, www.academyofscuba.org. But we do have a couple of events that I'll make note of. The first one is on January 22nd, we're actually going to have a military day at our dive shop. And that'll also be taking place up at Lake Mojave Scuba in Bullhead City as well, where anybody who's either an active military member or reserve military member can come in, and there's going to be a whole host of discounts for them and special deals, and a portion of whatever they spend is going to go to SUDS. So we're really excited about that, because it's not just the dive community, but it's also the military community helping out their brothers and sisters in arms. The second thing that we're doing that I think is really exciting is for all those folks that are listening that have never been on scuba, we have boat anchors to help you get down to the bottom of the of our indoor heated pool. We'll have to mention that to the person who weighs 300 pounds here in the studio.
Indoor heated pool.
Indoor heated pool.
Oh, he lays
degrees.
out in his backyard in his non-heated pool in the middle of January, so I'm sure he.
Well, then he won't need a wetsuit when we bring him out to the lake later. But
he's a man.
We're going to have a try scuba. It's 25. It's on. That's going to take place. We may have a couple of them, but the one that we have scheduled right now is on the 21st of January, and that's $25 per person, and 100% of the proceeds go to SUDS, and all the people who are helping people try scuba for the first time are actually are volunteering their time. So that's really exciting.
Are you in on that one, Dawn?
Yes, I am.
And we've already recruited her. Dawn doesn't say it very often, but she is a dive master, so she knows her way around the scuba unit. So, anyways, and then the biggest event of the month is going to be a raffle at the end of the month on January 29th. We're actually raffling off a plate, which is an artifact from the Andrea Doria, which is a famous wreck. Yeah, it's a famous wreck.
Like a dish plate?
Yeah, a second class plate. It was actually retrieved by a gentleman named John Chatterton. And John Chatterton actually was made famous through a book called Shadow Diver, so he's very well known in the dive community. It was a New York Times best-selling book, and he actually retrieved this plate 250 feet down on the Andrea Doria. And the Andrea Doria is known as the Mount Everest of wreck diving in the dive community. It's probably the most infamous wreck in many ways. So it's a really valuable piece of nostalgia. It's very difficult to even dive that when it was in good shape, and the wreck is deteriorated to the point where you really can't go inside anymore. So this is a really cool and unique artifact. I know I've already set aside a little fun money to make sure that I donate as well. I think Dawn's vying for it as well, she said.
Yeah, well, I'd like to mention that John, his lovely wife Carla, is also on the board at SUDS, and so they're very involved with the SUDS program. So they were more than happy to contribute this to the
That's pretty
event
cool.
that we were having here in Phoenix. She was really excited about it, and John too.
There's a neat little certificate of authenticity that goes with the plate from John Chatterton, and it talks about how he retrieved it from the second class, and a little bit of history on the wreck itself. So.
And how much are the raffle tickets going to go for?
$5 per
That's
ticket,
it?
and you can enter 100 times if you want.
$5 a ticket. That's it. This is
per
priceless.
ticket.
This is a priceless artifact.
It's an incredible artifact, and it should be for such a worthwhile cause.
That is very cool. That is very. Now I know how you snagged it. Now I know how you snagged it, Dawn. Good go. Good go. So you got 2 events so far for the month of January, or is there more?
We have actually one other event scheduled. It's on the 25th of January, and much like Dawn experienced down in Turks and Caicos, where she got to be it's called a dive buddy for a disabled scuba diver, and she's actually a certified dive buddy for handicapped divers. Other people who are certified already can actually go out and become what they call an official or certified dive buddy. And what we're doing is putting together a class where people can sign up. It's $99, and they can actually become a certified handicapped scuba diver dive buddy. 100% of the proceeds for that are going to SUDS. Again, our instructors at the Academy of Scuba are donating their time to make sure that we have plenty of people to help these disabled vets and other disabled scuba divers as well into the water. It's a great way for divers to kind of see scuba diving through a completely different perspective. And when you look at the absolute shine that these people have on their faces after they've accomplished such an incredible feat, the reward is unparalleled. So $99 is an incredible way to get a lot back from a sport that we all love. And again, 100% of the proceeds from that class are going to go to SUDS as well. Again, our whole attempt here is to try and sponsor not just one, but perhaps multiple divers learn how to go through the SUDS program.
And that's all for our injured veterans. The way that they can get into the program is how, Dawn?
The injured divers.
How do our injured military get to be a part of SUDS?
They are in the hospital at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center.
So someone approaches them, or?
Yeah. We have John and Danny will go through the hospital and visit the soldiers that have come in, and they're going through therapy, and they'll ask them, hey, have you thought about scuba diving? Of course, they look like they have 3 eyes, when I'm laying here, and I've lost limbs, and they're in a bad place emotionally, mentally. They don't know, their whole life has just changed within an instant, and they say, hey, let's go out and do something, let's get you in the water, and they talk them into it, and next thing you know, they're on Thursday afternoon, they're in the water at the pool, and they start working with them.
Have you ever had a chance to go to the pool at Walter Reed?
No, I haven't been able to. That's pretty restrictive, just because.
But you're a master diver, Dawn. You got your ways.
And the reason is it's not so much for that, but it's because it's the hospital. They have to be very careful about people coming and going, about germs and stuff. Just because they have open, they're not
I bet
healed.
that's on your list, though.
Oh, yes. That, and also they do a lot of trips down to Guantanamo. And that would be like the ultimate dive to go to, because only military is allowed to dive down there. But SUDS does take trips down there with the guys.
There was actually this documentary I was watching over the weekend, I believe, and they went to the other side of the island of Cuba, a place where people don't go.
That's
it's
where they're
protected.
Diving.
Oh, that's what you're talking
That's
about?
Where they're diving.
Where the coral reef is still alive, and species that were thought to be extinct or endangered are thriving, and they just don't allow the public to go there. So you have pristine beaches and pristine waters, and the corals aren't all bleached out, and they're just crazy wild.
I saw the same program.
Did you really? It was amazing.
Just reconfirmed that's why it's on the top of my bucket list.
Oh, okay, because that's on the other side of the island where the average Joe doesn't get to go. Even the average Cuban doesn't get to go. Right. So it's pretty much restricted. It's a wildlife reserve, I believe, that was set up by Fidel Castro to specifically keep it that way, clean and pristine and thriving, and it shows you that without man's intervention that, yes, nature can regenerate and thrive.
Right, from the entire island, the reefs around
Yes.
are pristine like that because you don't have the typical tourist diver down there. There's not much diving that does go on. Most of it is the military.
It's either military or it's
by invitation, I believe.
And I think it's also like marine biologists and that kind of thing. So they're studying and they're not hacking at it and pulling a piece of the coral off to take home with me. Oh, look at my souvenir that I just took back from, whatever. They're not doing that.
Right.
So, that would be cool. Hopefully you'll get an invitation for that one sometime soon,
maybe
Dawn.
you can come with me on that one.
I'll stand on land and just kind of wave at you because I'm not certified by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, I think you will be after the 21st.
Oh, you think so, huh? Well, we're going to run all through that whole calendar again with John Flanders from Academy of Scuba, who is proudly raising funds this month through the academyofscuba.org website, academyofscuba.org. It is an effort on behalf of John and all the folks at Academy of Scuba to try to raise money and awareness for SUDS, which is Soldiers Undertaking Disabled Scuba, correct?
Correct.
Yes. I know it's kind of hard when you're thinking, okay, what does this stand for? And you could see it could go a variety of different ways. So you have to remember it's Soldiers Undertaking Disabled Scuba, because these are disabled veterans that have returned from Afghanistan and Iraq and trying to put them in a better place. Physically, mentally, and what better way to do that than down in the water where you get to see all this cool stuff.
Sharks.
Here she goes again with the sharks, John. Oh, she's enamored with them.
She is.
Okay, let's go through the calendar again, which is all posted up at academyofscuba.org. We're going to run through it again. On the 21st, you have Try Scuba.
Try Scuba, that's right. For $25, you can get in and work with one of our dive professionals in our indoor heated pool, so it's nice and warm, and try Scuba and help out the people at SUDS. On the 22nd at the Academy of Scuba in Lake Mojave Scuba, we have military days where an active member of the military or reserves can come in and receive some nice discounts, whether they want to sign up for beginner lessons or buy some gear. There's going to be some great discounts and deals, and a percentage of what they buy will end up going to SUDS. On the 25th of January, we have the Scubability Dive Buddies program, which allows certified divers to come in and attend a workshop, a class where they get certified to work with disabled divers, disabled veterans who are learning to scuba dive.
And now, if you go and take that certification workshop, do you automatically get your certification on the spot?
Well, once you complete it, yes, you do. At the end of the workshop, it's actually about a 20-hour workshop. It starts on the 25th and it continues the following weekend.
Okay, so it's a 2-weekend commitment.
It's about 20 hours, about 3 days. Is what it ends up being. And then on the 29th, we have that raffle for that plate we were talking about from the Andrea Doria that John Chatterton retrieved. And for as little as $5, you get a raffle ticket, a chance to win an incredible artifact, as well as a chance to, or certainly not a chance, but a way of helping somebody get through a very difficult time and learn how to do something really exciting with their life.
And that is a plate that was actually dug out of the wreckage.
Yeah, John Chatterton went down and retrieved it at 250 feet. It's a very deep and dark dive, and went inside that wreck, and he's retrieved a lot of artifacts out of there. And plates in the scuba world, china or plates are revered as kind of a signature mark or signature item to retrieve from these real wrecks. What's really neat about this plate is it actually still shows the Italia logo. The Andrea Doria was kind of a flagship for Italian pride at post-World War II, and when it sank in 1956, it was literally a hit against the nationalism of the Italians who were still recuperating from World War II. So that Italia emblem that's emblazoned on those plates really did mean something. It was like I said, a great source of national pride.
Is it intact, or is it?
It's a complete plate, and it's like
no chunks missing out of it or anything.
No, well, not that I could see it. I didn't examine it that closely, but it's in very very mint condition, and even being down there over 40 years, it still has a lot of the gold lace around it, as well as the Italia logo still on there. So it's a really remarkable artifact.
Wow, that is so cool. So you could actually win a plate that was on the Andrea Doria and was retrieved from the wreckage of the Andrea Doria
by a world-renowned wreck diver. Yes.
Wow, that is cool for $5.
She just handed me a $5 bill every one. I think she wants to win.
I do want to win. In fact, I might hand you another $5 before this is over. You might have 2 of them from me. I definitely want the winning ticket. And the winning ticket's going to be chosen when?
That'll be on the 29th of January. That's a Sunday. And also on that Sunday, one of the things we have up on our website is we're going to have some shirts that are designed for the fundraisers as well. The shirts will be $20, and all the net proceeds go to SUDS again.
So all of the month of January is dedicated to SUDS and raising funds and awareness for SUDS. You can go to the website, which is academyofscuba.org. That's where all the charity stuff is. And if you're interested in some of the other things, you can go to academyofscuba.com.
That's right.
So it's all there. Don't forget the January 22nd, it's Military Days at Academy of Scuba, also at Lake Mojave Scuba, and I believe you mentioned Planet Scuba too down in Tucson, correct?
That's correct.
January 21st, you get to try scuba to see if you even like it. And that's for what, $25 you said?
$25, and again, all that goes.
In a
all
heated
the proceeds
pool.
go to SUDS in a heated pool.
And all the proceeds go to SUDS. So if anyone's
We
interested,
supply the boat anchor for all the boy
supply
people.
all the gear too.
All the gear is included. Yes, all you need to do is bring a bathing suit and a towel, and that's not optional.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And then on the 25th, you have the certification workshop where you can be a handicap dive buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then on January 29th is the drawing for the raffle, which is for an actual plate that's been certified authentic from the Andrea Doria. And all you need to do is pick up a $5 raffle ticket.
We did a big fundraising for the Salvation Army last month, obviously.
In
with
December.
Christmas. Yeah, that's my dad's favorite charity, so that's why we selected it. But
Salvation Army does awesome stuff.
They do some great things. What's really remarkable is we had people purchasing raffle tickets from New York, New Jersey, Florida, Chicago. It was unbelievable how the entire nation was participating in this great fundraising.
So hopefully we can get everybody to participate in this great fundraiser in the month of January for SUDS. I almost said September. January. I'm moving the calendar up, aren't I? January is devoted to SUDS, Soldiers Undertaking Disabled Scuba. Great organization. It's a great charity, and all your help is welcomed. It's needed, and I'm sure the soldiers who are getting to partake into the program are very grateful as well.
Oh, and we are too.
And
I can't say thank you enough to John and Academy of Scuba for supporting us.
That's awesome. And if any other dive shops want to get in on this, and can you buy a raffle ticket for the plate on the academyofscuba.org website?
You can sign up for all everything. You're able to sign up for everything online, and you can purchase a raffle ticket right online as well.
Very cool. academyofscuba.org. Check it out. sudsdiving.org if you want to check out what SUDS is all about. Maybe they'll mention it again before the football games later on today.
Oh, and we'll be posting it on the Facebook page, and I'll be taking care of all that.
And I believe the Facebook page is SUDS Diving as well, isn't it?
It is.
SUDS Diving, if you're on Facebook, if you want to check it out on the web, sudsdiving.org. And if you want to check out Academy of Scuba, it's academyofscuba.org. You can get all the charity information up there. You can buy a raffle ticket. You can donate. And you can also donate at sudsdiving.org, too. Remember, it takes approximately $2,000 per soldier to sponsor them for scuba.
Right.
So $2,000, just think. Like you said, you see the smiles on their faces.
Oh,
You see the transformations.
Yes, firsthand. And it, just like I said, it reinforces what I'm doing.
So-
I know I'm doing the right thing.
You got to check it out. You can check it out at sudsdiving.org, academyofscuba.org. I thank you, John Flanders from Academy of Scuba, for stopping by. Dawn, always great to see you, girl.
Yes, thank
hope
you
you get to
so
go to-
much.
I hope you get to go to I think it's the south side of Cuba,
Yes.
south side of the island.
Yes.
Turks and Caicos, swimming with the sharks. I thank you both for stopping by Valley Focus.
Thank
Check
you,
it out,
Deborah.
sudsdiving.org, academyofscuba.org. Thank you both.